Hi, so I want to do a quick tour of some things for the midterm in regards to 3D printing and specifically on using less material. Okay, so I have here the negative Jesus model that you've probably seen before, even as a ring with its parts. I'm going to work on one part where we're going to call it part A. Actually, I could do the cut, but I will do the cut for later because what I want to go through is how to use less material, right? So I'll do File, Export. Sorry, first of all, I will make sure that the size is correct. Each one of these squares is 1 meter. That is like a bit more than 3 feet. So that's quite big. If you want to check that the size is correct, you can append a file that is on the base folder now that is called printing volumes. So you click on append, then you choose the printing volumes.blend file, click on object, and then click on form 3, and that will show you the printing volume size of the form 3 printer. Naturally, you don't want the print to be larger than that, right? And we want some control on the size. So this size is sort of okay. If you need something more specific, I will delete this volume now too. Turn off the X-ray. Blender does have a measurement system that you can use here. And you can also turn on this magnet here and click on face nearest, and that way I can actually move these measurements and measure my things with a lot of precision. So this is good, for instance, if you need to do something, as we will do for later, that is meant for a specific object, say a tripod, a PVC tube, or whatever. Okay, great. So we have this, and the size is sort of okay. I check that with the cube. I will make sure that to turn off the magnet there, and I will start exporting. I will do this one, and I'm exporting in order to make them a bit thinner. When we're exporting, please, to keep things in order and not crash your desktop, sample negative Jesus export. Please put things in a folder. When you are exporting, make sure that you have turned on selection only, and that the scale is 1000, and that you're using scene units. Okay, this so that it works as expected while 3D printed. I know it's a bit weird that you have to scale it 1000, but that's how it works. And we call it a good name, negative Jesus, and I know that this is the center, so I'm gonna call it A in this case. This is the first part that I export, and I press export STL. And I'm going to do the same thing with the rest. So export STL. All the things that I checked before are checked now by default. So this will be B. And this third part will be C. Great. Now I'm going to use another software for another 3D printer, not for the preform. That is, the software is called Anycubic Workshop. It's available on, it's free online, but it's also on the folder, on the box folder of the class. So here's under classes. 3D at the end of the world, and you will see that there is a folder that says assets and apps. So there you have the anycubic folder and also the printing volumes. Okay, so those might be useful now. Okay, so here's the anycubic workshop, photon workshop folder. It will ask you to use a printer for test. Just do whatever printer. We're only using this software to hollow the object so that we are not spending too much resin. And actually, this is not the file that I had, so I will import a new model. Good, and as you see, the size is right. Whatever is red is out of the printing area, but in this case, we don't really care. Good, so we have this first size, and what we will do is to use this menu here, the prepare menu, which is very simple, and press hollow. It will ask for a wall thickness. If you're using, especially if you're using the draft resin, I would go minimum 3 millimeters, and then you press apply update, and this will hollow out the print. So a lot less resin used, which makes everything a lot cheaper. The only problem is that if the resin has no way to go out, it will be just as expensive. So we'll press the punch button here. The punch button, it has an outer and inside diameter. I'll do both 8 millimeters since this is kind of a big thing. And I will start punching holes. So you just punch holes, put some holes on the top and some on the bottom. And this should be enough. I want the resin to like exit this very easily. So that should be enough. And now you would only need to press File, Export Model, and put it here. This was a file, this was a negative Jesus A, right? So I press that too. I press Save, and I replace. I'll put it here, and again import. I'll do the B version and repeat the same thing again, which is hollow, apply update, punch, I don't want the water to get stuck in there, and File, Export Model. This is the B version, replace, and import model. Then we have the C, so you see it's good to know your ABCs here. I will move this one out of the way, so I only want to work with this one. Press hollow, apply update, punch. This is a little bit thinner, so perhaps I could use a 4 millimeter hole. And beautifully, then I just press File, Export Model, and this is the C part. Other things that you can do on this software that are interesting, but I think that you can actually do that on preform. And beautifully, then I just press File, Export Model, and this is the C part. And those ones that sort of solder metal and stuff, they look very nice. And in preform, we're going to check File, Open. And since we put everything in a tidy, nice folder, we can do negative Jesus A. Press Repair. It might be the case that it's importing everything. Okay, and here I have the file, and as you can see, well, it imported the whole thing, so actually I had to do it again so that it fit on the thing. But you see the slider on the right? If I slide it up, you can see that it's hollow now, which is great because it's a lot less material. Let's see now the things, the support things and all of that stuff. I'll just press auto generate. It might create some support for the other parts. I'll pause the recording again. Okay, and here we have the supports activated. Might be a bit over the top, but better safe than sorry. And it's still mostly hollow, right? But the point is that it's only using, as you can see here, 230 milliliters, which is very important, and we ask you to take that number into account. Okay. Also provides with a time estimate, which is great for you to, you know, ask if you're doing a night shift or whatever. We are 14 students, and we have 3 printers of the formlab kind. So we have to be very organized with that. Also, if you are willing, we're open for you to using the FDM printers, for which we'll do another tutorial. But once you have this, you can, you think that everything is correct, you are supposed to then do we can upload the print. Right, and as always, save the file. But this is a way to have a print that has that uses substantially less material than the other prints, and therefore it's substantially cheaper. Because actually, it's, if I'm not wrong, is 0.15 per milliliter, and this is 230. That's $30. It's not that horrible. I could do it all over again and make it thinner too, but for now I won't do it. And that's it. I hope it's helpful.